The Tungsten and the RHO are about the same amount of money, so which one do you get? We'll find out today. I'll include a link to the Larry H. Miller Dodge Ram & Savings website in the description down below. They're providing us with both of these trucks. Let's get right into it. The Tungsten is powered by a twin-turbo 3-liter inline-six that goes through an 8-speed automatic. Fuel economy is 15 around town, 21 on the highway, with power outputs being 540 horsepower and then 521 pound-feet of torque. The RHO has the same exact powertrain, but fuel economy is 14 around town, 16 on the highway. Beefy tires. If you're looking for more straight-to-the-point, unbiased comparisons like this, make sure you subscribe. So in order to make the Tungsten not look like a complete wimp next to the RHO, I had to put it in the off-road ride height setting, the top setting, and it actually looks pretty cool. But yeah, you can see you've got that luxury style for the whole front end. Look at the chrome, look at the bumper styling. Now compare that to the RHO with the giant hood vents. You got the marker lights because it's over 80 inches wide. You've got the steel bumper. We also have these massive recovery points. No recovery points in the Tungsten. So again, the themes are very apparent with the exteriors. Now when it comes to the tire and wheel setup, we've got 35s on the RHO and you've got big fancy wheels on the Tungsten. Again, different setups. The RHO, by the way, 18-inch wheel. Now you note the RHO has these huge fenders. You got big fender flares. You do have pretty sizable fender flares on the Tungsten. But yeah, just noticed all the chrome here on the Tungsten, even the mirror cap, whereas everything on the RHO is all blacked out. Now here's the side of the Tungsten. Both of these trucks are body and frame, solid axle on the back, independent suspension up front. Can't really get a side profile of the RHO, but trust me, it's aggressive. Now here's a big difference. The Tungsten has 4-corner air suspension. The RHO on the other hand is coil sprung, and you'll note it's got Blackhawk shocks from Bilstein. It's an active system, so it's got some adjustability. Now this RHO just has the standard bed setup, and because of the wide body, you can't get ram boxes. The Tungsten, you can get ram boxes, and this also has the funky split tailgates. So yeah, just a different setup, and you know, the benefit of these, obviously they rob space from the center, but then you get the compartments on the side. Now, other than that, the last thing is, you notice the bumper steps kind of in the center versus on the outside of the RHO. Again, that's because the tailgate differences. Both of them have full-size spares underneath, and both of them have dual outlet exhaust tips, but notice the RHO again has that upgraded off-road bumper. Now let's compare payloads with the truck. The RHO has 1,341 pounds of payload. Now the Tungsten payload's about 1,026 pounds, and this limits its towing capacity. So the RHO is limited to about 8,500 pounds of towing, whereas the Tungsten is technically 9,000 to 10,000 pounds, but since your payload's only 1,000 pounds, if you have a person that weighs 200 pounds in the truck, now you're down to 8,000 pounds of towing because there's a 10% tongue weight transfer, so yeah. And now let's talk about the interiors. There's gonna be a lot of carryovers, so I'm not going to go over everything, but I wanna focus on the materials and some of the placement. So you notice the seats here in the Tungsten, or the seat controls rather, are on the side, massage function there on the side. And then look at these seats. You also get a different sound system in this. Here's a quick look at the speaker itself. And then again, you notice this trim is kind of different in the Tungsten. Even the steering wheel got like stitching around the airbag cover. But you know, the techie elements like the screen, that's all going to be a carryover. You do have Tungsten here. Something to note, the dial. You have a dial shifter on the Tungsten. And then you also get like leather here on the grab handle. There's a fancy finish with the headliner. And overall, you can tell this is all about luxury with the aesthetic they've gone for. Let's now take a peek at the RHO. So the theme is different. Really nice trim, but you can see the sportier elements. You do have the Harman Kardon sound system, not as premium, but still a good sound system. And then the seats, sportier with the design. Even the steering wheel, you got like the perforated trim. There's no stitching around the airbag cover. You've got these big old paddles on the back. It's kind of easier to see them from the front face there. And then the shifter is in the center with this. This even comes with launch control, so that's another big difference. Got the RHO plaque there. So a lot of the same techie elements, but just sportier theme. When it comes to pricing, the Tungsten only comes fully loaded. This one's about $92K, but I mean, the cheapest one I've seen is about $90. The RHO, you can get one in the 70s. This one's about $88K because it's loaded up to match the Tungsten, but you've got options to go more baseline or more loaded up. Let's drive them. Lower the Tungsten down to the normal ride height, because that's what you're actually going to drive this around in. If you're an off-road too, it's going to be bumpy with the ride because you're at the top of the airbag. Now with these modern air suspension systems, they have done some stuff to kind of make it a little bit more comfortable when you're at the top of the suspension, but Yeah, it's still going to be a bit bumpier. And again, you're going to drive it normal anyways. It's an automatic system, so like when you go on the highway, I keep searching on the side of the seat for the control. When you go on the highway, it's automatically going to lower down. Anyways, I think this is an interesting comparison, and the thing that's very interesting is you look and money is put into both vehicles. A lot of money is put into both vehicles, but it's put into different places. Well, kind of the same places, but in different ways, right? You know, air suspension ain't cheap, but also fancy adjustable shocks, you know, electronically adjustable on the fly, those aren't cheap either. Now, if this does not drive smoother than the RHO, then I think it'll kind of just defeat the purpose. Very insulated though, like when it comes to luxury trucks, nobody does it like Ram. GM doesn't compete, Ford doesn't compete, Toyota definitely doesn't compete. The ride quality, the cabin insulation. Ram has really perfected the luxury truck. And I'm sure they'll make things better from moving forward, right? They might do independent suspension on some of the luxury. Maybe they'll do it across the lineup. That'll make it more comfortable, but then less truck-like. I definitely prefer having a solid axle in the back of the truck. It provides nice stability while towing. I've towed with both independent suspension and solid axles, and I honestly prefer solid axle front and rear when it comes to towing. But, you know, independent suspension up front, solid axle in the back, it's still good enough. It's like off-road, right? I prefer solid axles, front and rear off-road, but I can make an independent suspension, solid axle in the back. You know, independent suspension up front, solid axle in the back work. Very smooth. This truck, you know, you kind of just want to sit back, ride on the torque wave, and just enjoy things. Get a massage. The other thing is the interior feels very high quality. This is on par with luxury manufacturers. It's hard to say the same about General Motors and Ford, because when you touch the trim in this, it feels very high quality. Do the same thing in a Ford and a GM. Some of the trim pieces feel nice. Some of them, not so much. You know, they feel like they're cheaping out big time. Let's get a little acceleration here. It's got power. It's smooth too. Inline sixes are great engines. They provide good low end torque, smooth power delivery, and they've got a strong top end. As long as they can make this engine reliable, it'll go down as being a great engine. This drives really well. Truly. So the RHO has its work cut out for it, kind of, right? Because the RHO obviously already wins when it comes to, well, off-roading. And this isn't, and when it comes to truck stuff, the RHO is actually kind of more practical. It's got more payload. And the towing on this, like, I weigh over 200 pounds. So I could not tow more than 8,000 pounds on this. Whereas the RHO, because it's higher payload, I could tow 8,500 pounds on that. So the RHO actually is more capable when it comes to truck stuff. Off-road. So if it ends up being as luxurious or more luxurious with the ride, whew, RIP Tungsten, right? Let's go check it out. Let me tell you, the second I get in this thing, it's like, yeah, this is more my speed. I actually do like the console design in the Tungsten a little bit more, being able to slide the thing back and forth and having more space, but it is cool having like an actual shifter. It's not necessary because it's electronic. Actually, here's the controversial thing in this video. If the shifter is electronic, I do not give a hoot what it looks like, as long as it's easy to use. I only want like a shifter if it's, you know, got some mechanical nature to it. Like electronics, not connected to anything. It's like when you just move this backwards and forwards, it doesn't feel like anything. I mean, I guess like you got the shifter head, but it's synthetic. So it's like, I'm okay with twisting a dial. I'm okay with the little joystick thing. I don't really care. As long as it isn't in the way too much. So I know a lot of you will disagree with me. You'll be like, ah, the dial, it's lame. It's so lame. I think so. Now, right off the bat, it seems like, even though the power figure is the same, it seems like they kind of tuned this to be more aggressive in the RHO, the engine. Also, it's got a more aggressive axle ratio, so that's actually probably what it is. Now, even the shift points seem more aggressive. Now, the ride quality. By the way, I got my like hand on my chin. I'm in thinking position, full on thinking position. I'm like the thinker. Actually, I'll put I put my fist on my forehead, right? Yeah, the Tungsten's actually more comfortable. The air suspension kind of like the all-terrain tires in this, I can feel it chunking at the road. It's not bad. Just when you're driving back to back. And the Tungsten's a bit more luxe. Just as quiet. I mean, the engine's a little bit rowdier. Seems like they gotta make the exhaust a little bit louder on this. Kind of pointless in my opinion, because you got a vacuum cleaner under the hood of both the trucks, so. Fast vacuum cleaner, smooth vacuum cleaner, but still a vacuum cleaner. Yeah, that more aggressive axle ratio, or shift point, something's more aggressive with this. It scoots. I like it. So, which one should you buy? If all that luxury is your goal, then yeah, the Tungsten, oh man, it's okay. Then the Tungsten's gonna be the winner, because that does have a smoother ride. It's more refined overall. The seats are more comfortable in the Tungsten. Interior's a little bit nicer. Like, these trim pieces aren't quite as nice feeling as what you have in the Tungsten. But if you're like me, you look at this and you go, this is nice enough. This is luxurious enough. I don't need any more than this. Then the RHO is more fun to drive. It handles better in a way. That wide body, it's more exciting, and it splits the difference. And again, like I said, the practicality, you got off-road, you got towing, you got luxury. It's not the best at the luxury, it's not the best at the towing. Good enough though. Let me know which one you pick.